Hello everybody. Tomorrow, Saturday, is a day set aside for remembering the victims of torture. And on their website, Freedom from Torture, described the situation Tanya was in. Tanya lived in Zimbabwe. She was brought up on a farm and worked the land there, but also used to do her best to speak out on behalf of any victims of injustice and against the oppressive regime. She was beaten up for this, but still carried on doing it. She was beaten again and sexually assaulted, and in the end she had to leave the country. She arrived here. She was smitten with nightmares and fears. In fact, she only had to close her eyes to hear again the cries of women being raped in the prison where she was being kept, and all the other noises and sounds that go with torture. And these just she couldn't get them out of her mind. Nor could she really speak about them. She was invited to go to a support group, but somehow all she could do was cry. And then someone suggested that she might like to join Freedom from Torture's gardening project. And she did, and this has been enormously healing for her. She can speak as much or as little as she likes, and she can get her hands dirty. If she's angry, she can dig, and if she's feeling very fragile, she can work with seeds, delicately planting vegetables and so on. This has been a healing, this gardening for her, a healing process. Today, let's remember victims of torture, of whom there are tens of thousands in the world. It's estimated that in America there are 400,000 people who are victims of torture. It's a huge problem. And I wondered what it is that goes through the minds of people who do the torturing. It's hard for most of us to get heads around doing such a thing. But it struck me that it has something to do with control, that when you're torturing somebody, they are entirely at your mercy, and gives an enormous sense of power. And though I can't do very much except contributing financially to Freedom from Torture and other similar organisations, I can, and we all can, make sure that we don't do any of the things that remotely reflect that same desire to have control over other people. I think it's something which is there in most of us. We want other people to do our bidding, to do things our way. It's a very small thing in comparison with the person who's inflicting torture, but it's the same thing in essence. And I'm going today, as my contribution to the Day of Remembrance, to try particularly hard not to do any controlling of other people.